Just like a few more moves towards the back step, like I said, that can be your option, or maybe the person put in the De La Riva guard and you in the back step, and the person look for a berimbolo, he look for all back attack for that. You just don't want to go too far and give them much options over there. But you want to have your options to attack who's on the bottom too, right? So from there, I have the back step position, and like I said, this doesn't look like this is the most comfortable position, but as long as you practice a little bit, you're gonna feel comfortable to find where it doesn't take that much energy from you. It's not the best place to be. I'll rather be sitting on the couch and rest than be in a position like this for too long. But I feel like if you're able to find the perfect place to rest your hand, you can stay here and wait till the underhook comes up. You can stay here and wait to kind of like to get a good head control. But not always who's on the bottom will feel like they have the most like tight position. Who's on bottom sometimes he feel like tired too. He feels like, oh, I don't want to be here too long. I need to move, I need to do something. In between all those thoughts, sometimes the person on the bottom, he start loosening up your leg. Sometimes I have this position, I'm looking for a pass, I'm holding. This hand from the chest sometimes goes on his biceps, this hand on the chest sometimes goes on his shoulder, I can be over here, and any moment, this is no gi, this is slippery. Many times I feel my leg doesn't have that much like a hold. Many times I'm over here and I feel a little bit like loose, because I'm up, just pull my leg and land on top. The idea is like imagine you stay there long enough that who's on bottom is getting tired too. Who's on bottom is trying to rock in a lot of position. He's trying to attack me. He's blocking me to me don't make a big move. But sometimes the fastest move, the easiest move is just pull your leg. And I'm pulling my leg as I'm yanking. I'm not just like pulling slow and hoping to free my leg. I have an option to really yank my leg out of the half guard. So I'm in a back step. He has a De La Riva guard over here. I feel got a little bit loose, and I'm pulling against resistance. I'm not pulling like hooking him. I'm pulling like sliding my leg out. If I wait over here, he brings all the defense now. Come back, come back, come back. Come back, come back. So as I'm pulling this, I'm landing on top of him, and I'm looking for like a good side control or maybe a north-south position. Who's on bottom, especially on gi, probably is gonna get loose and suddenly like maybe your leg is gonna get slippery, and that'll be the time that you're really looking for to pull your leg. Just like when you pull your arm from armbar, then you know it's getting sweaty, it's getting slippery. Just pull your leg with no much resistance, because I'm not hooking, I'm not pulling against his leg, I'm not pulling against his arm. I'm just pulling on the direction that there's no much resistance. And once you pull, make sure you establish the side control. By going back to the back step, I believe maybe it's gonna be the last move from the back step, because I told you guys, you don't have to do the same move left and right. As long as we have an attack to the right and we have an attack to the left, we're gonna have a bunch of options, and not necessarily it has to be the same options to left or right. So as long as we have attack left and right, doesn't have to be the same, we'll be fine. So we're back to the back step. He has my leg. I keep myself balanced. I said before, if I feel this loose, I can just pull my leg out. It's sweaty, it's slippery. If the person is holding low on your ankle, I can put more weight over there. I don't know if you guys can see, his hand is slipping a little bit more to my calf. It's less grip over there because it's a big part of your body. And now I'll pull it out. If you get a little stuck, maybe it's kind of dry, maybe you have a good balance, you still fine over there, and you find the best angle. We need to have an option, that's what I'm looking for. So if I get over there, I'm over here. I try pull, it doesn't come out. I try pull, it didn't come out. I put a lot of weight on the bottom leg. He start get tired. He's not really pulling me up. He start get tired. I feel like I have enough balance. I'm post. Step. And come on. That step has to be really well done. Because if you step and you fall and the person move and you lose the balance, you pretty much you sweep yourself. So what I'm looking for is like he's holding tight, my legs not come out, he's not moving that much, my leg comes on top of this, pull, I cannot hold this leg, I cannot try to stay on this leg because this leg is going to start moving, I have to take it out of this leg. So go there, so I step and stay. Not stay, but just land on the side control. Because after you pull your leg, you step on the leg, you have to bring your legs out of there. I don't want to put my leg there and feel myself like a step, lock, and start moving and both starting. So my leg has to step, help to pull my leg out and come out of there quick. That we're gonna give like a really good option to free myself from the De La Riva guard, from the back step, and pressure him to pass. Because I'm sure who's on bottom, maybe he's very comfortable to stay there as long as you're not attacking. Now that you're attacking, maybe he doesn't want to be there anymore. Maybe you pass, what is great, but even if you don't pass, maybe he switch side, maybe you try something, go on the other side. And we're gonna be ready for him too. Or we back to the De La Riva guard, but imagine like the person got the De La Riva guard, this foot is bothering you, you were able to clean up this foot, you kept this foot on your armpit, you clean this leg, you keep it on the point, but over here is just too much control. I have control, but I'm not passing, I'm not attacking, and I can deal with all this problem to pass the back step. Or I can come out of the back step and start to deal with like his guard again. But like I said, this is a control, but I'm not looking to just control, I'm looking for attack. So if I have an option and I want to move forward, I'm not looking for rest, I'm not looking to pause. I'm putting his leg in between my leg. And I put his leg in between my leg, but I cannot stay here. Even sometimes maybe you feel like I can just sit over here and hold his leg like in place. I don't want to hold his leg in place, I want to keep moving forward. So I could be here, and I step, and I keep his leg inside. I can be here, I step, and I'm fighting his foot, and I put his leg inside, but I have to keep moving. After I land over here, look what's gonna happen. My knee, I avoid to buckle my knee. I'm still pointing my knee out. I keep his leg in between my legs, not for too long because I'm already getting tired to be kind of squat over here. My both hands is gonna go right on top of his knee. And my hands gonna go on top of his knees, not to show him what I'm gonna do. My both hands gonna go over there to hit really hard, to drop his defense. Even if he has an arm over here, he's not gonna be ready to because I'm coming with all my hip and land over him. Many times I have landed in this position and I kept the person on the board by surprise. Being by surprise means he doesn't even hold like a half guard. I land over here, I'm basically just kind of establish a mount position. Sometimes he can even bump me out. And I'm most like still on top. Basic, imagine, I don't know how many times you guys got caught by surprise when somebody land on a mount on you. Usually sometimes people push both knees. Now I'm taking advantage because there's no gi. My leg can slip out of the half guard, so I just need to push one of the knee. But I push one of the knee with my both hands. What makes my push and my hitting really hard, much harder than I'm just using my hands. And I'm sliding my both legs out and try landing them out. But who's on board just get by surprise. So if he gets by surprise and if he's tired, usually you just kind of like I just land them out. But sometimes you get that by surprise, the first thing someone does is just bump you out. He bumped me out, but I can come out and just stay on the side. What is still fine for me because I just got his guard pass. But let's go back over there. He has a good De La Riva guard. I didn't let like his foot go so far across. I keep my knee point out. I keep his leg inside. I don't want to wait too long over here because that's when he will come out all the options of like a reverse de la Riva. So from here, as soon as I land over here, I cannot look at him and put my hand on his leg, showing that I'm gonna push his knee. Without letting he think and land on top of him. That will be more like a surprise, right? To land in a mount, I need to land inside of his armpit. If he happens to land on top of his arm, that also be an option to, instead of being on the mount, take your leg, instead of being the mount, take my leg out and just kind of stay on the side. And then from here I can stay on the side, from here I can circle and get knocked out. Obviously, we all know like a side control, knee on belly, north south, mount position. It's all a good like option to establish the guard pass, and that's what we need to. After you pass, as long as you choose one that like gives like a control, just stay there and get a hold of him before he escape. And you make sure you get the points so he stay behind. And like I said before, once he's behind, he's gonna have to expose himself. Once he exposes himself, I feel like there's a lot more open for submission over there. One more time, we're back to the De La Riva guard, but like I said, I keep my knee point out. I got his leg in between my legs. It's not a comfortable place to stay here because I have to stay like squat and keep my hip closed so his legs, can you put your leg up? So I don't want to let his foot come out, so I stay close. And when I'm ready, I just hit his leg really hard, push his knee and drive my hip. But it's very common, you drive a hip immediate. Maybe you move slow, maybe he has a quick reaction, maybe we make a mistake. Sometimes your foot get cut over there. Or maybe he make a good move and your foot got cut by his half guard. As soon as I land over here, guys, I have almost like a mount position, but it's not really a mount if I don't pass. So instead of just look for the mount, what I did before, I'm look for the underhook. I land over here. If the arm that open, I look for the underhook. Just to be easier, I'm gonna look for the underhook close to my leg because it's open. So if he open up this, I look for this underhook. I have no like my knee is not stuck inside the half guard, it's just my foot. So I can lift and knee cut to the other side. Just going back to like a normal pass, just like we did before. So I land over here. I got the bottom of the hook, head control. I'm doing like the gable grip over here, hands together, tucking my chin. I can lift, knee cut over his stomach to the other side. My foot is stuck, I can just kick, get my foot in between, and just get the pass. One more time. He has this position. He has the De La Riva. His legs in between. I tap, land them out. I see that it's open over here. I drop and get a head control. I can walk a little bit to the side, lift my hip. I cannot wait because he's gonna recover. I cannot wait, he's gonna recover. So I can walk this up and knee cut out immediately. If my knee stays between his belly, he can always pull the bottom leg. So instead of letting him pull, I just kind of like put my knee on the floor. Kick the top leg and get my foot out of there as soon as possible. Now, we're gonna go back over there. I'm gonna do the same thing. Gonna tap, but look how like I have my foot tucked in the half guard and his bottom arm is stuck in. So I don't have the underhook, I have the top underhook. If I don't have the underhook, I go on the underhook on the top arm. Head control. I don't want to pass towards the other side. I don't want to pass towards the side that I did before. Because if I pass towards the side, I'm going to have him on my back. So I have the same foot stuck in the half guard. But instead of like get this underhook because my knee land on top, I'm going to get the underhook on the top arm. As I'm getting the hook in the top arm, instead of knee cut with this leg, I'm gonna knee cut with the other leg in between. This is the leg that is free, but as long as I get all the way across, I'm gonna have such a strong turn on my hip that's gonna be really hard to keep my leg over there. I'm not letting it free. I'm still keeping this really tight, super tight. Bottom leg starts going over there, little by little. Even if it takes a little longer, I'm gonna be able to really get my leg over there, my foot out of there, as long as I'm patient. One more time, go. He has my foot. I'm not showing to him I'm gonna push this. I'm not even putting resistance because I don't wanna have him to think about that. I'm just holding his leg. As soon as I'm ready, tap, drop my knees. His leg, his arm is inside. He's not leaving on the hook. I found on the hook on top, head control. And turn. So just like I said before, I lift my hip and get this knee inside. My foot has to pass, guys. If I get over here, he can maybe be strong enough to kind of turn me over with all his energy. So I have to make sure my knee passes to the other side. Now my hip is not on top of him. My hip is on the ground, so hands together, stay like him. My hip is on the ground and I'm not putting weight against him. I'm pulling him to me. I'm taking his weight and bring close to me. And now my bottom leg goes there, kick. Obviously I'm exaggerating over here just so you guys see how long maybe we take. I'm sure Paul is not gonna be holding the position like just until he gets tired, but usually the person is gonna hold much longer and you little by little go there, keep knocking, and then you're gonna get your foot. Once you get your foot, head control, knees on the ground, and make sure you hold until you get the guard pass. Well, we're back to the position, but this time we have a situation that we're gonna make us think even more. He has the De La Riva guard. I came back from the back step, and as soon as I get here, I turn my knee point out. I wanna make sure this foot is not bothering me, so I can choose to hold that tight, but one more time, I went back and I put this foot inside. As I put this foot inside, I believe this foot is not going to stay here too long, so let's be ready to move. Always when you have this scenario, you have to move. I cannot just hang over here, I cannot rest over here. This is a place that I'm moving. So I got over here, I got his foot inside. Before he start hip skate, oh, bring the foot out. Before he brings this foot out, I have to do something. My both hands is gonna go very strong. It's gonna hit and push at the same time, right? And I cannot stay over here, but that's kind of like the angle that I'm looking for. And one more time, I'm going to stay strong, Paul. One more time, I'm gonna go there, try to land on the mount. Was stuck, my foot is stuck. I was looking for the underhook just like before, but this time he tucking his both hands and his elbows at the same time. I cannot really fight for the underhook. And this is a place that I cannot stay. He's stuck in, but soon he's gonna start to kind of find his space so he can recover. So as I'm getting over here, I have no one the hook. I have to move out of it. And move, I'm talking about, I'm not going back to his guard, I'm moving forward. From my both knees on the ground, I get a little bit of a rocking motion, and swing my leg over. This is a move that I'm constantly looking for. Every time I get my foot stuck in the half guard, I'm swinging my leg over. So it's pretty much automatic because it's something that I've been working a long time. Now, obviously, it's very natural, but as I'm swinging this leg over, I have to land, sit very close to him. I swing my leg, I'm not landing on top of him because I can easily lose my balance and end up in a bad place. I'm landing close to him, and I'm looking for to land kind of behind his elbow. I don't want to land close to his head because I don't want this arm to come out. As I'm landing, I'm close to him and I'm behind his elbow. From here, I start looking for the head. My hands has to connect. I can push through, connect my hand, and stay tight over here. One more time, I'm back to almost the same position that when I pass with my knee over his waist, and I end this position. Can take a little bit of time, depending how much energy the person body wants to waste. Maybe he wastes that much energy because he may be looking forward to you making mistakes. But I'm not making mistakes over here. Even if it takes a little longer to get my foot over here, I will stay here and my foot is still stuck in the half guard. I can stay here, I don't even have to rush. But if you really have to take your foot out like immediate, I can start knocking with the outside leg. The leg that is like pretty much on the bottom over here. And his style over there, I knock a little bit. And then I get my foot out. As I'm getting my foot out, hands connect, just like before, both knees on the ground. I need to establish the side control. I don't know how much my opponents will fight to don't give me the side control, but I'm ready here to hold in the longest that I need until I get the points. The points will keep him behind. But after I get the points, guys, I'm looking to attack to get a submission. If I just hold him tight, if I just pin over here, he's not gonna have a chance to give me the submission. So instead of just pinning him, after I get the points, I start moving. And that's like the idea. I always mention to you guys how much energy we have to put to pass, but obviously how much energy we have to put to establish. But then after establish, I don't want to waste energy anymore. I don't want to like use energy to hold him down. I want to use energy to make him tap, and that's my goal, and I hope I can succeed with that. But one more time, I'm back to the De La Riva guard. Maybe I put myself over here, I step forward, I came from the back step, this foot over here, I push his foot in. I don't show him I'm looking for this leg. I'm already like aim for this leg, but I cannot just go and show him that I'm looking for this leg. So stay tight, Paul. So from this position, I cannot even show him like what is the next move, because the next move has to come out quick. As I'm landing, my foot got caught in the half guard. His elbow is tight. I cannot take too long to figure out what's going on. As soon as I realize I know on the hook, I shift the weight kind of like more to this knee, extend this leg over, slide, and land behind his elbow. Because his elbow was stuck, probably like his arm is not going to be easy swing out against around my waist. So that helped me to land over here tight, right? I can stay here, I can look from the hook, I can take my time. Hands connect would be the best, but one detail that Paul helped me to remember is like, I got over here, no on the hook. If I get to one point, I try swinging the leg, hit block, I'm back to the underhook again. So this is a system that obviously everybody calls a system today, but it's a system that comes like on and off. All the time this comes back. Many scenarios, this comes back. Imagine like you're not past his guard, you already passed his guard. He recovered a mount position. I didn't got to the mount like in the beginning. I finally got the mount in the end, and then he recovered like the half guard. One more time, I'm swinging the leg over. I'm landing like below his elbow, and I'm looking to get this tight. And I don't want to get a frame on my face, guys. I don't want to get a frame over here. So every time I land over here, as I see he start moving, I just tuck in my face and start looking to stay tight. This energy over here, guys, is only to get the pass. I'm sorry, to hold the pass. I use energy to pass, now I'll use hands to hold the pass. After this, I'm releasing and I'm looking for submission because that's my goal. One more time, I'm trying to connect things because I don't want to have like a dead ending in my techniques, or I don't want to have to always reset. It's okay to reset when something goes wrong, but I don't want to make that a habit. So I want to have like an answer after answer, depend whatever like I'm succeed or whatever like maybe my opponents like attack me or throw on me. So I was looking forward to come out from the De La Riva guard. I was looking forward to stuff his leg and get his leg in between my leg, but maybe he has a different answer, and I should be like aware around about those options. Let's go back there. So a little bit more movement now, guys. I have this, my knees point outside. This foot is what can really mess with me. You know what I mean? So I fight. I get this foot over here. As I'm getting this foot over here, I'm already looking forward to get this. But as soon as I get this foot over here, he switch game. He start going to like a half guard position. Maybe he wants to hold over here. Maybe he wants to go to X guard. I just cannot wait too long. And the idea is like, look what Pope just did. I put his leg over here. As soon as I put his leg over here, he switch. He shift side. He just change direction. And this is a big move. And that's why I get frustrated sometimes, especially when I'm coaching, right? When we let our opponents make a big moves like this and we don't react. We don't move. We don't see that coming. So let's go again. So I have the De La Riva guard. I put his foot over here. As soon as I feel this come, as soon as I feel like he reach over here, I don't want to let him hold tight my leg. I don't want to let him drop me down. Before any of those things, I move. And I move towards the direction that I'm used to. So when my leg is far back over there, that's when I'm going to move, guys. So I put his leg over here. I'm looking to do this. He go over there. This leg gets lighter. My weight shifts most like on this leg. And I swing this leg over his head. Be careful so you don't kick his head. So make sure you like just slide over. This is something that people have trouble. So make sure we really figure out the best way to land your weight after him, over him. One more time. I don't want to sit on top of him. If I sit on top of him, the whole ground is going to start moving. So I don't want to have that feeling. I want to have a feeling that I land on the ground and I start looking to get the underhook again, like we did before. So let's just go back to that movement. He has the De La Riva guard, guys. He immediately can shift sides, switch he can switch for a deep half, he can switch for a De La Riva to a reverse De La Riva. So anything that he wants, he can do it. But I cannot just let him make a big move, big switch, and then I'm not moving. I'm sliding, but I'm not falling. So I have to sliding and stop. My leg sliding over him. One more time, Paul. My legs sliding over him. Get a little bit of a loosen over here and slide over. Maybe his body leg can be a little bit on the way. I don't want his leg get too much stuck. Maybe even his leg can be a little bit on the way. That's okay. I don't want to stay on top of him. I want to land on the ground. I don't know if everybody saw his arm. His arm is even a little bit around my back. I cannot rest over here because I just felt his arm around me. So in this point, instead of rest, I take my weight off and I palm him. That's a very common situation, guys. Go back, bro. If you land over here and you feel there's enough room, you just unhook and connect your hands again. The good thing now is you just don't have no frame on your face. Because before, when you land over here, sometimes this frame starts going on your face. And you always if you take a little longer to fight against this frame, maybe now you're gonna have to take a little bit of pressure on your neck until he releases, and then probably after you pass, he's still gonna be fighting with this on your face. But then after you get the points, after you score, you don't need to hold and pin him down and waste all the energy on that, because now I'm looking for the submission. And the reason why we look for the submission, because it's always a speech that I almost like to give, is that we look for the submission because we don't know what will happen later. If I try to stall the mat because I have 2 points, or wait to the end and try to do something in the end, I just don't know what's going to happen. Everything can change. The whole world can shift and then I'm going to be surprised. So my whole point is look for the submission because I want to go to the next round rest if it's possible. I want to beat my next opponent because maybe I saved enough energy to beat him on the mats before. Or maybe we're getting ourselves ready to fight a no time and no points tournament. Especially no gi today, we see that pretty often. So I always want to condition myself to look for the submission. That's kind of the speech that I was looking for. And the reason why is because I really want to make sure I have all the odds on my favor. So that's what I'm looking for, so don't waste energy. Get the submissions as soon as possible and go to the next round or go to the final with more energy than my opponent. You can even maybe be more technical, more better better or more athletic than me, but I save energy, so I have everything like saved so I can use against him in the ending. We're going back over there, guys, but this time we're gonna add a little bit more trouble. We may face a little bit more like a stuck position, and we still should be expecting to that happens. And if that happens, we must have a quick answer. That's like what I believe is to be ahead of your opponent. It's not always know what your opponent is gonna do. It's not always lead ahead, but as soon as your opponent does the move, what he's allowed to, what he's been trained for, you have a quick answer. And the quick answer immediately will put you ahead of him, if you don't wait for him after to catch you up. So you have to just constantly try give your answer like before he has a chance to set up anything else, right? So we're back over there. I was already here and he didn't wait longer. He started for the half guard. I take the weight off of his leg. This knee is something that we can think about it, but this is not the most important. If this is free, this knee I would like to go out of his leg, but sometimes it's not really an option because I'm so busy about this, I'm so concerned about this. Even if this knee goes on the floor, I'm still want to get the leg over. Obviously, now maybe my knee is gonna be stuck in the half guard. What I don't see no problem. Maybe it takes a little longer to get out, but the pressure against him is going to be much tougher than whatever he's doing over here. Because he's holding this tight, the longer I stay over here, it's harder for him. Maybe he's willing to spend a lot of energy there, but I believe if I'm just be patient, I'll be fine. So this knee, in the middle of like a quick move, doesn't really matter if it just stay in the half guard or if it just go over. But what I'm really concerned is like as soon as I move, if he holds my leg over here, if my leg gets a little bit like stuck, I have to get my leg out. Usually, it's not his arm that holds my leg. His arm is holding my leg, but what's stopping my leg to move forward is like his head. He can do this head with a little bit sit up. He can do his head just tucking his ears. And I try to pull my leg out, doesn't come out. Keep your head down, Paul. One thing that I'm looking for is to get my leg extended before. I want to lock in my leg extended so I can have like a clean move. But at the same time that I'm looking to do this, his head is there. So quick, not much thinking. My leg stuck, hand goes, it's not like I'm not shoving his head, I'm more like a tapping. Get my leg over. You can be gentle, you can be nice, you can just push hard and don't think that much so he doesn't have a chance to set up. Obviously, it depends who you're doing. If you're in a tournament, you have to push hard. I have pushed hard once that maybe I even remember I almost felt bad it was in the tournament. But at the same time, I don't want to be stuck over there because the person's really holding me down. But that's the way that I need to get my leg out of there. And once you land over here, we're back to this position, right? Take a little bit more time if you need to, but then you free your foot there eventually. But my concern is like is about any details that I might get stuck. So I got over here, I try swinging my leg, he gets stuck. This hand comes across a little bit farther, but the other hand from the same side is much, keep your head up, is much easier. Just get your leg up. I'm looking to get like behind his elbow. One more time, if his hand gets around. If I feel his hands around me, I can't rest. I feel his hand around me, I go forward, and my hand goes behind. Can you jump? We have options about this, guys, but I just want to bring this up in case you already think about that. I land over here, I feel his hands behind me. I'm not resting my back. I land my hip on the ground, but I'm not resting my back. And my hand just palming behind. And now I'm looking for hold him down and make sure slowly I start to get my leg out of it. Even takes a little longer, guys. I'm pretty sure if you ever be on the bottom with the half guard and the person has the head and underhook control, it doesn't feel good to be on the bottom. Your body is very like a compressed and pressure and a little bit twist too. So who's on bottom, I promise it's gonna be like really feeling bad to hold your foot over there. It's gonna be very uncomfortable to stay over there. I hope I have enough time. I hope it's not just like a 5 seconds left. 5 seconds left, maybe the person can hold my foot over there. Not much longer than that, but I just want to make sure like I take my time and get the guard pass, what is the most important, because I feel if my opponent is behind, if he's losing by points, he will expose himself. Even if he's like a no points, no time limit, I believe I'm still have a lot of attacks from his side control after I pass his guard. And maybe you think about, oh, but you ignore the leg attack. No, I just believe people has more defense where they've been most than where not many people been before. I believe he's more comfortable to defend any submission from his guard because that's what he plays the most. Because he pretty much like, I believe he cannot let someone pass his guard. But once he get his guard pass, I believe he doesn't train that every day. He doesn't train like a side control escape every day. We know not everybody likes to make your homework. So I feel like even if I'm looking for the submissions, I feel I want to find a submission easier if I'm in a place that he's not used to being over there. Like side control, north, south, back, mount, something that like we don't look for to be that much, right? But if it happens, like who's on top, probably gonna have the advantage. And I hope who's on board like knows what to do from that. Going back over there, guys, one more detail, and I don't want to have to make the whole move because I don't want you guys have to watch it all over again. But imagine I'm already like in that half guard pass, and I land over here. My leg got stuck. This is a scenario that I've been in this position many times because I mentioned to you guys, I'm very like familiar with this position. I always have the habit to like as soon as I feel this arm locking, my leg comes up. I immediately extend my leg so I can hope to get my leg free from there. But if you get to one point, like he's holding my leg, I extend, his head come up, I push and it doesn't really come out. Guys, I'm pretty much doesn't have much balance. I'm still kind of sitting on top of him. I was looking to sit next to him, but I'm pretty much on top of him. I head up, I push, doesn't come out. I need to catch my balance. Hand goes on his elbow, most like above his elbows, almost on his triceps, but my weight goes on the ground. And when I say on the ground, like maybe he looks to stay flat, go flat, Paul. He may look to stay flat, but my balance is more like off of me. I don't want to have a weight on top of me so he can kind of keep me bouncing side to side. So knees on the floor, hand on the floor, hand control his back. My thumb point down. That's something that I like to specific because I feel like instead of like a push, I'm gonna be like more pulling. And the reason why I'm pushing, I'm not pushing because I don't want to push him down. I want to pull him out of the ground. The reason why, because I need him sideways. So he looks to keep me flat, head up. So weight comes out. My butt comes out. I don't want to weight on top of him. Now I don't really have to push his head that much because he's more sideways. I feel like his head has a lot more movement this way than sideways. So I keep him sideways, leg comes out at the same time. If I still have this elbow, I can use this as a blocking. So I can land like super tight, not letting his elbow sneak out. That's something that I always worry about. I'm trying to defend and prevent this. So every time I have a chance, I'm tucking, I'm kind of like squeezing my ribs against his body so he doesn't have that much like free to get his arm out there. This is no gi, guys, can be very slippery. So if maybe I don't have my hands connect yet, I pull his head, I get everything connect, just kind of like really get a hold of him. Whatever gives me like a hold. I have no connection with him. I'm pretty much just have like a 2 different grip. Maybe he just breaks, break. And now I connect my hands. Now I feel like I have more. His elbow is inside. Doesn't matter because I feel like as long as I just stay tight and keep like a good squeeze, there's not much like a free. And this is the least thing that I'm worried. I always believe the longer I stay here, the harder it's gonna be for him. What I'm more concerned is like about this grip. This is a good grip because it's above his arm. Maybe I didn't mention this much before, but even this is not like a perfect underhook because I'm pretty much over. This is a place I believe, stay typo. This is a place I believe like no one really likes to be. You know, I mean, your arm is almost against you. And then if you pass, it's even like a uncomfortable. But any grip that you have, we're definitely gonna help you, right? But let's go back over there because that's like the detail that I want you guys to have. My leg, it's touching his head. I feel like it's not really coming out. So my whole point is like my weight is on top of him, take my weight off of him. I take my weight off of him and keep him sideways. My thumb is pointing down because I wanna pull him and I don't wanna push him. I'm pulling, and then from this position, my leg just extend. Keep your head up, pull, extend and slide over. Weight on the ground. Maybe you feel like you sit on top of his arm. I don't want to sit on top of his arm. I want to make sure my butt is on the floor because I don't want anybody to push me or lift me or getting me out of the ground. If I can, I'll prefer to have a underhook. But if you tuck this in, I can go on top. I can connect the hands. I can put his elbow. Depend how dry would be the match. Depend if he has a rash guard or not. I believe everybody knows like I prefer to wear a rash guard so I can have some grip, even if the grip comes from me. But gi or no gi, rash guard or no rash guard, if you have a hands connect, we know we're gonna have a good like a side control. I'm not squeezing his face. I'm also like just keep chest with chest and my knees most on the ground. The most weight is on my knees and they stay on the ground. My weight cannot be most like on top of him because if the person is very strong, explode and bigger, I don't want you to kind of butt me up. So my weight stays on the ground, but obviously I put a good squeeze and some weight on his chest from there. But let's make sure we always balance our weight so we don't catch ourselves like getting flip over. Imagine like you work so hard to pass someone's guard. I'm sure that happens with some of you guys. With me it happens, and I hate when I do so much work, you pass someone's guard and the person just flip you over from the side control. And now after all this work, now you're on the bottom and the person's on top of you, and maybe he's already on your side control. Where I think is not a place that we should hang out that much because I feel like there's a lot of submissions come from the side control. Alright, one detail that I like to remind you guys and even remind myself that happens sometimes that we should be aware. One more time, I'm still trying to prevent something that maybe he's trying to do to me. And when I say prevent, it's like I'm aware about like each move he makes. Like I said, like when he like a shift side, when he pivot his body, that's a big move. But when somebody just reach, when somebody just kind of like tap something, when someone just goes to like an ankle, that should give like a warning, like as soon as he goes, you have to go too. You can go back and kind of like avoid, or you can use his movement to try capitalize his movement to maybe use against him, because when somebody reach for you, suddenly they open something, right? So going back to that like a standing position, I was there like I pass over here, I was looking to push this. As soon as I feel his hand goes over there, if he goes there too quick, you know, I have to just move, you know what I mean? But if I get to one point that he reach over there and I feel he's getting a hold and I'm a little bit far, I want to get a little bit more energy behind this leg movement. As soon as you hold there, I'm gonna move back. As he try to come close, I'm moving forward. So I'm just adding a detail there, like whenever I see like he goes there, keep your leg inside just in case. As soon as I feel his leg goes there, I'm pulled back so he doesn't close the distance too fast. And as he try close now, my leg goes back to the same place. And then we're back to like the half guard pass, the side control that I'm looking for. Maybe this foot is stuck over there. But most important, like I want to make sure I get to his side first, right? All right, we're going back over there because I feel there's a missing position that we need to put together so you guys can be ready in case some of those happens to you. So I'm back over there. That could be a little bit more like a half guard pass, but like I mentioned before, we can end up over here, starting from your feet, right? So from my feet, I want to get this leg over, but in that lane, guys, he can easily move his arm out. If he's a little bit ahead, like his arm can make like the round grip around my waist, and then there's no underhook over here, guys. There's no like you can see he's following me. You can see like when I'm moving forward, the gap doesn't open. There's no gap. So I land. It is a very different landing feeling than before. When you land, you feel like his arm is on front of you. This time you feel like he's hugging you. And that already gives me a warning, like there's no underhook. I come up. If I stay over here, certainly I'm gonna have to deal with his attack. But I'm waiting there. I'm expecting this position. So has to have a quick movement. So look like how much energy I wanna put on this twist. So from here, I'm looking to sweet side. Let's take sweet side. I still have my legs stuck in the half guard. My knees still stuck in the half guard. No underhook. I'm swinging my arms. I don't know if this means how much energy I'm putting. And I'm turning face to him. When I land over here, I'm looking for his head to get on the hook. As I'm feeling his arms around my waist, there's no head, there's no underhook. It's so much behind me. Now I'm looking to go towards his legs. So if you cannot go towards his head, go towards his legs. One more time, I'm looking to get on the hook, and I'm expecting to, it's the same arm, same underhook, same arm. I'm still expecting to find this open, but maybe I can land over here and still be tight. He still can be tight. But one more time, I don't rest on top of his underhook. I'm just open up so I can fit in my hand. And I pummel and I get the underhook. Hands together. I feel like we've been here before. One more time. Everything needs to connect. Everything must reconnect from back then, so we always have a good answer. And that's how I feel like we should not have a dead ending to a technique. Once you have a favorite technique, once you choose a selection of techniques, those techniques have to meet and link to each other. As I'm landing over here, I'm back to the half guard pass, guys. We talked about this before. I'm stay tight, foot is on the floor, base, slow, I'm starting kind of like knocking. I don't keep my foot over here because I think there's a chance he can trap my both legs. So my leg, instead of just push, just kind of knock until I get my foot free over there. I feel once you guys drill this move, you guys know how much energy I put on this. How much energy, like, you really need to, how much energy we commit to this, but just as much energy I put on this, I put on this too. If I land over there, there is no like, if I land over there, there's no like a underhook on me. I'm spinning to get around to find the underhook from the other side. One more time. We have this. So I finally get my hand. As soon as I feel this, turn into him. If I can get a head, great. If I don't have a head yet, as long as I have on the hook, even if you hide his head, that's fine. I can stay here. Don't let this underhook kind of get stronger against you. So keep this underhook like higher, and I can even start to push myself out to get out of the half guard. But I'm gonna have more control if I can connect. My weight stays on my hip and not on top of him. All the weight that I have on top of him is a tight, is a squeeze. So my weight comes from the squeeze and not much just the weight. So if I can put some weight with the squeeze because I'm pulling, that's okay, as long my hip stays on the ground. Weight comes out of the ground means like he has your weight. Even you feel like I'm pressuring him, I'm putting a lot of weight on him. Yes, you put a lot of weight on him, but at the same time you transfer your weight, your balance for him. And I feel every time we do this, we're risking to the other person use your weight against you. And that's what I'm avoiding. That's why I want to have a lot of squeeze, a lot of control, a lot of pressure against him, as long as it doesn't depend only of my weight. Because I want to keep my balance, my weight on the ground, where I can control. I believe we definitely going towards the guard pass right now. We prevent everything. We can mount from the worst. And when I say the worst, like not just a submission, well, obviously that's the worst, but we can mount from a place that like we have to open someone's close guard before we even think about passing someone's guard. But now we definitely already like just passing and forcing and getting like ahead of the position, so we don't spend that long in his guard. But going back over there, I want to try to find a scenario that's like a simple and easy, but obviously like many other scenarios will put you here, but I want to just have everything like a round connect, so it makes it easier for you guys to remember what comes next, because that's what I believe is the most advantage of this game. Obviously like it's part of the mindset that I believe, but if the person has the half guard and he pulls, he pulls, he drops me down. My leg doesn't come out over his head. I don't have this knee on the ground. I have the other knee on the ground. And that is many different ways we can land over here. Many different ways. But in this one, is what connects from what you did before. But I want you guys to have like the finish, the ending, how we can react from this, how we can move forward from this position. But let's go one more time. Pull. I'm over here. He has the half guard over there. He pulls this knee. He just make me drop towards the side. And I'm not hesitating. This is a place that I don't want to stay, guys. Bring back the memories from what we just did before. He can hold this leg, but my both hands are gonna really like a shovel his head down. And I'm not extending this leg. I'm hopping over. I'm almost like just jumping over with my hip. This can be a little bit tricky because I'm gonna get my leg around and I'm gonna extend after I pass. Stay tight, pull. So keep your head up and push. Look how I kind of like hop over. This leg is not extending. I don't want to stay over here. This leg has to open. And when I say open, because I want to have like a weight on the ground. But he's still there. I'm still going to have to fight to look for the underhook. So I'm looking to get underhook on the other side. But this by itself is a move that who's on board can be very comfortable and strong. So don't think it's the easiest thing, but I really feel is the right answer. My hand can be on his chest, can be on his face. I'm just gonna scoop him and get my hip over to the other side. One more time. Turn around. I got over here, push. Hip on the other side. I cannot get his head anymore like I was doing most of the time. But now I'm looking for this underhook. You guys can see my leg, that pass is already getting extended. At the same time that I look for the underhook on this side. And this is a place that like I'm no longer in that half guard. Sometimes who's on board has a very good half guard, but over here now, guys, I most like control the half guard and I complete change. And maybe this is a place that he's not used to be. He's very strong over there. So now I'm looking for to get like the same control than before and looking to get my leg. But first, let's make sure everybody really gets where I'm going around to continue to move forward. So this can be super tight. My hand goes over there, can be one hand, two hand. I can pulse over here to help to my hip scoop over. I cannot land on top of him. My leg has to be on the ground. Look how this arm is getting around. I can use even this elbow to open this arm We came from here, guys. I can use this arm to open. I can underhook with this arm. Going back to what we did before, I feel like all the moves needs to meet and go back to whatever we need to use against him. And you should have like a connection from everywhere. But even this can be just kind of like if he try to get this underhook on me, I can use this to block, frame. I cannot stay here too long. I cannot hang out. I'm just pause over here to give you guys an idea. But this can be blocked as I'm reaching out with the other side. Like I mentioned before, I feel everything comes around. I feel like that's the strongest part of my game. I've been here before, not only from this position, but maybe from a mount position, maybe from another guard pass that puts me here. And now I still have like a quick answer. I have no head right now, and that's okay because I know what to do from here. I have no head. I can use and try to get the head control, but I'm still doing the same position. Stay tight, pull. Little by little, little by little. As my foot gets out, knees on the ground, and we go back to the side control. I hope you guys understand like how powerful your game became, because everything connects. The whole circle goes around and kind of like makes sense, because we must have an answer. We must land. We must lead ourselves towards the direction that I know what to do from there. It's not the first time that I land on the half guard. It's not the first time that I turn into him and I face him like the underhook, head control, my leg stuck in the half guard. I've been there before, and I feel like that's what makes like one game stronger than the other. It's not about the new game. It's the game that is more round build. It's the game that like you train most of the parts and you have like everything to be delivered on the right time. That's kind of the idea that I most believe, and I believe that's what makes the difference in all the tournaments that I compete. All right, now we're gonna change the scenario a little bit, because we don't have to only focus on this, but it is something that we have to be really aware. And going back to whatever we did before shouldn't be something that we're gonna be like a new or different. Obviously, maybe we're gonna be complete in a different position, but on my mind, I know how to remember what I did before and don't make mistakes like maybe happens before. Like for example, I'm looking to pass his guard. I pop his guard open. I'm looking to pass his guard. I'm getting to his side, and I feel he invert himself. I'm never looking to put him in this position. It's not something that I want to get the best to pass, because I feel like I'm working against his flexibility. It's not something that like I'm choosing for. I want to work against his weakness. If the person is very flexible over here, I don't want to have to pass from here. I want to have options. But if the person gets over here, I want to have an answer for that. And my first answer is like, I'm not putting my foot inside his leg. I'm not giving my foot for his hands. Every time he reaches for my foot, I have to free. Every time he reaches for my foot, I just keep myself back. And what I'm gonna be working for, I'm not gonna control his ankles. I'm not gonna hold his ankles. I will control his ankles. And I'm gonna looking for to free myself from his ankle. Even his legs over here, I'm gonna work to do this. It's okay. I don't think it's that hard to push the person's leg. What I have to be concerned now is that once I take his legs off, his weight replaces, hold tight. Once I hold my weight, once I take his leg off, his arms can hold me complete. So the hardest part, I can free myself out of his legs, but I'm still gonna have to deal with his arms. So bring your legs back, Paul. So I'm walking this. I know I'm free myself from his legs, but I have a lot of work to do against his arm. So I'm gonna use my hands first. I'm gonna use my hands first to free his feet, and I'm gonna try to find his knees. It's gonna be slippery. It's no gi. There's no belt. There's no lapel. It's most like a free your nipple. So it's most like just like you really try get a hold of his legs to push. But now I have to deal with his arm. Be careful. From this position, I'm gonna try like a shift my weight. I'm gonna shift one side or maybe the other side. Stay tight, both legs up. Maybe I do one side, doesn't work. I do the other side, and I'm gonna be looking for to close the distance. Doesn't mean I'm gonna get the side control yet. I'm just closing the distance. I'm working with his legs, I'm pushing his foot. His foot is going on my face, his foot is going on my chest. And at the same time, I'm gonna be like getting my chest, getting my shoulder, getting my head close to him. As I'm getting over there, my feet stays away. As I'm getting over here, as I'm cleaning up his leg, I can be pushing this. I know his hand is getting close to stop me. I got his feet away. My hands start going on his knees. Over here, I'm still. Over here, pole is still in the same place. But obviously, like once we pass, we're gonna be like moving a lot. I'm gonna be like using my feet to really push. A lot of like hip shift. But as I'm getting closer, I'm gonna start pummeling his arm. Stay stable. I'm gonna start pummeling his arm. So as I'm getting close, I'm gonna start pulling together over here. This is not the only place that I'm looking for. I like north-south position, but the north-south position doesn't come with just like a both underhook. A north-south position for me comes with like a double underhook or one over and one under. The only thing that doesn't make sense for me is both over. Both over, I feel like he always can escape and bump. Unless I have the choke. If I have the choke, I don't need a hook. I have his neck, I have his head stuck, so I'll be fine over there. But to establish gut pass, coming from inverter, I feel like I'm gonna be fighting his legs first. His legs is what's gonna reach me first. Everybody knows legs much longer than arms. So if he kicks, if he reach, his legs are gonna come first. I free his feet, I push his knee. One more time. I free myself with his feet, I push his knee. I start close the distance with this. Elbow can go in and start close the distance. We know we have a lot of work to do over there. And I'm pretty much safe because I'm stay busy against his feet. I'm only use most like my body to close the distance. As I'm getting a little closer with my head, I can use my head to get close. I can start release his leg and tucking my arms to look for the underhook. But first I have to make sure he doesn't get hold of my leg. I don't want to be attacked in a foot lock. I don't want to be entangled to a 50-50. I don't want to be in a place that like he's getting a hold of me. I'm in a place that I'm pushing against him. And this is a place we know we're going to put a lot of work. We know we're going to put a lot of sweat to push over there. And this is a place that like it's just the beginning that I'm looking forward to adventure to pass like the invert guard, because we have a lot of options there. But first I want to be safe. I don't want to put my legs forward. I don't want to like put my leg forward if I feel maybe I can just kind of like use my arms and keep a safe distance. That would be like probably my first approach. And I'm looking for the north-south, what everybody knows like is a very good place to establish a side control, gi or no gi. And obviously, like, if you have a north-south choke, you're probably going to be able to even lead to submission after you get his gut pass. Alright guys, going back there to the invert position. And when I say invert position, could be that the person just inverted and tried to show his flexibility, but it could be more like that we just scramble, we end up over there, and I have to react. I have to find a move. I have to continue to push forward because I believe I don't want to give him a space. Guys, when we know what to do, and when I say know what to do, I'm not saying I know everything, but I know which move I like to do next. I do not many times feel like, oh, what should I do here? I have options that I like to do. Moves that we train every day, guys. When we train every day, when you've been training like for all those years, there's a move that like you can do from everywhere, but we cannot hesitate. And that's what I'm trying to describe for you guys. As he turn invert, as we scramble over here, He's already looking for my ankle. He's pulling my ankle. He maybe tried to get his leg in between my leg. That's something that I don't want to let his foot come to my hamstring. If he doesn't reach my ankles, I don't think his leg is gonna make the reach back over there. And I told you guys, I begin with my hands. I'm not beginning with my knees. I'm not beginning with my leg. I'm keeping my leg behind my ankles. I don't think his arm is gonna be able to reach my legs that far. Even if they reach my legs, as long like his foot doesn't make, I'm still fine reaching my leg, and I can obviously like get out. But I'm not giving him space, guys. I don't want to give him a break. I want to keep pushing. He keep going. So I'm pushing this, and if he gets to one point, he wants to show his flexibility. He wants to stay here. He don't want to let me push his foot. Maybe I feel his leg is very heavy. I need to come close. If only my arm is not enough to push his leg, stay here. I don't want to keep wasting my energy going towards something that I see that is not working that well. Now I need to get my leg close. But I never want to let his leg go in between my legs. My leg must be outside his leg. Either side you choose to pass the guard, as long like my leg is on the outside, he has an invert position. He's comfort over here. Maybe he just want to show off his flexibility, but I want to make sure my leg's on the outside. I can be standing up as long his legs is on the outside and not on the inside, not in between my leg. I'll be fine. So I can be here, my legs on the outside. And when I say outside, guys, I'm not giving a break. I'm just pausing over here so you guys can see what I'm looking for. I'm looking for to, my hand is not being enough to pass the guard. I'm pushing his feet, he's not coming out. I'm not being able to come close. I go on the outside. I put a lot of weight over here. I'm almost gonna rest all my weight against his leg. Can be close to his heel or can be close to his thigh. He can put his knee on top of his shoulder or he can put his knee under his leg. As I'm getting over here, now I feel this leg is not bothering me as much before. As I'm putting his leg down, guys, it's not absolute position, absolute division, but I'm sure if you put all your weight against someone's leg over here, that should be more than enough to make the person really feels like you have it. And now this leg is pretty much pinned and isolated. Maybe his arm is underneath, but as long like his leg is stable, I can concentrate my both arms against the other leg. I put this leg across, it's not this leg, and now I start to work on this. He's flexible, his leg keep coming. I keep trying to get inside his leg. Not over, I'm not looking for this. I'm not looking to give him leverage to lift me up. I don't want to he rock me. I put a lot of weight over here. I don't want this leg slip out. So I'll make sure my knee touches the floor and I hook this leg if I have to. But everything's gonna be over here. We know it's gonna be a big fight over here, guys. This leg is gonna keep pushing, keep me. And I don't want to take too long over this. As soon as I get open, I close the distance. Okay? As soon as I pop open, I'm close the distance. The best scenario for me will be looking to get underhook. And underhook because we already did underhook before, right? We know what to do from there. But one more time, let me just finish the position. My feet goes on the outside and I drop the weight. I work to get this on the hook. I can get this leg off and get this on the hook. From this position, guys, I'm still holding his leg. But what I'm really looking for now is like take my leg out of the half guard. Hold tight. This foot goes on his knee and start pushing to get the half guard. I'm not taking that long to work to free this foot from the half guard because I want you guys to picture and imagine like where we come from. We come from a place that people feel very dangerous to be. When the other person involved, when the person reach the leg to my leg to attack my legs. But I feel not that danger as long like I know where to step. If I don't step in between his leg, I'm fine. As long as I step from the outside, I'm fine. As long as my foot is not hanging between his legs, I'm fine. And from there, I'm looking to get on the hook, head control, and we back to the half guard pass that we did before. And I'm gonna be focus this a little bit later, but now I want you guys just picture like where we come from, passing like the inverted position, and keep ourselves safe from ankle locks, heel hook, anything that could come out of that, knee bar, things that we're gonna maybe put a lot of danger and get a hold of us and maybe doesn't let us display our technique against him. Guys, one more time, going back to that scenario just because I want to add more details and I want you guys to be aware about like what options do you have. I'm not looking for his options, and at the same time, I'm not ignoring his attack. I know there's a lot of attacks, but as long like I have attacks against him, he probably is gonna have to really be worried about what I'm doing to him and not what he wants to do to me. So I want to keep him busy, and that's why I want to give you guys more options so he has to defend and not yourself, you know, and not you. Go back to that. So I got him over here. I don't let him reach for my ankles. I'm taking my ankles out. My hands was not enough to pass over here. I need to start getting my legs close. And I want to get my leg close because I want to start using my weight of my hip, of my knees. So I go on the outside. As I'm going the outside, I drop a lot of weight on the leg. And I'm looking for the underhook. I'm looking to push this. But to this point over here, guys, I'm not waiting to get stuck in the half guard. From this point over here, I'm gonna get both legs inside. With both legs inside, I have even more weight. I have even more block over here. He doesn't feel comfortable over here. I'm gonna start getting this leg over and I'm gonna land in that position without stay too long in a half guard position. I'm not looking to pause in the half guard. I'm looking to like get on his side and pressure him. Guys, there's all attacks that he wants to do. There's all attacks that he needs to set up. I'm not open for him to set up. I'm moving this forward. Maybe I can talk fast, maybe I can move after the other, but on my mind, I need to move fast. On my mind, I need to like push, move after move. I can be pausing over here to talk about this, but on my mind, I cannot wait to him to kind of like adjust, free, escape, protect, block. I'm pressuring him and make him has to take all the moves that I have. I cannot do all the moves that Jiu-Jitsu has, but I have a good amount of moves that I'm going to be like pushing and pressing and not waiting him to much what he wants to do. And I feel like that's what makes he feel like he doesn't have attack, he has to protect, that he has to defend. And going back to what I mentioned to you before, this doesn't mean he's going to pass his guard right away. This doesn't mean I can pass his guard with one move, or maybe two moves, or maybe three moves. But I believe if I have condition myself to do this over and over, I train every day to be doing this over and over, morning and night. I've been training like my life because this is what I do. This is a move that I choose to do. This is a move that I condition my body to make happen. But I promise this is not a move that he train every day to do because he doesn't have a training partner that do this move over and over and over against him. Maybe he's comfortable over there, but he's comfortable over there with someone that maybe is not comfortable over there. I'm comfortable over there, and I want you guys to be comfortable over there too. And that's why I'm giving those options. Let's go back again just to show the technique. No legs, I step on the side, I put all my weight over here, I start working on this leg to free, both leg goes heavy over there. And goes heavy because I don't want to let this leg kind of move me back and forth. This leg is going to start pushing me. I have no pulse, so I have to make sure I block this leg, get the pass from this position. Doesn't mean after I get on his side, it's going to be like a gi that you can just tie it up and hold him there. I'm still going to be fighting a lot of like underhook and head control, but that's what we've been training for. This is no gi, so we cannot pass someone's guard if we don't have like idea that you must control his head, you must get on the hook, you must close the distance. That's what we train for. That's what we condition ourselves to do. So I don't even go in the fight the same way how I didn't went far to escape your leg from the half guard yet. I don't want to push you guys too hard to think about like, okay, we have to just close the distance because we've been doing this like over and over and over in all the moves before. But that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I want you guys feel strong about to do it. Alright guys, one last move in what we were doing before, just so you guys have more options and has more freedom, because that's what I feel you guys must have. You guys must not feel danger. You guys must feel like a strong about attack your opponent in a place that most of the people feel like, oh, that's too dangerous to get near that. Or maybe he feels too open to just attack you. So let's make him has to defend, and let's make him feel the danger from there. So we go back over there. I was walking to go around. I was going around, but he can keep following me. Keep following me. No, go back. I can keep going around and he keep following me. I don't want to give this to him. I'm just give you guys an example, but my feet stays behind. I want to try get on his side. What I feel is safe. As long as I'm on the outside, I'm safe. But now, guys, I go on the outside, he follows me. I go on the outside, he follows me. I go on the outside, he follows me. So instead of just going outside, I'm going to step outside. And I'm going to step outside with my leg. So I'm back over there. I don't need to come off on the outside. I went from between to outside. And my foot doesn't step in between. My foot just kind of across over there. And I'm back over here. I can put both legs. I can put one leg. I can fight this underhook. But many times over here, I get over here, he can block me. As he block me, this hand can be busy pushing this leg. As he block me with this one, I'm pummeling with the other one. And we back to that reverse underhook. We back having to go to the north-south position. I have no head control. If I pause over here, because I'm just talking to you guys, I can even get bumped from this position. So as I'm getting over here, I'm looking for head, weight on top of his head. I'm worried about his head, so his head, take your head out. Oh, I don't want his head comes out and he starts to escape. So I'm gonna keep all the weight of my hip, my stomach on top of his head. One more time, let go. So I couldn't go on the outside, I couldn't step out, he keeps following me. Choose your favorite side. This is my favorite side. This is the side that I like to pass the half guard. So it's something that I choose to do. That gives me an advantage because I'm very familiar with where I'm going. I know what comes after that. I go, step over. As I'm getting over here, I'm pushing his leg. His hand is blocking me. His hand is trying to get myself from this position. This hand goes reverse and open it for the underhook. And I want to open up for the underhook and step back with the other leg. This leg that I was holding, I don't need this leg anymore. As long as I'm driving my feet to maintain the side control. Can you turn me forward? Half guard, please. Come. We're going back over there. I have this underhook from that position, but I have this underhook though. It's the same thing, guys. We're just going back to something that we did before. And this is not like a control, this is a guard passing. I'm not going over there to just control, I need to keep moving forward. I need to pass his guard. And this is a half guard pass that we came from a invert, and then we finally meet where I was before. And that's what I'm looking for. I hope you guys feel you have a task to do, and I hope you don't feel like a danger because you protect yourself. You stepping where you know it's safe. And that will give advantage to just pushing hard and moving forward without feel that threat.